What's up guys, Damian Keyes here, welcome back to the channel. So if you are new to releasing music, or more importantly, you are struggling with 2020 and how to release music in this time, which let's face it, I think most people are, then this video is for you because I'm gonna go through 6 essential tips that you need to do when releasing music. Now, firstly, I would like to put in a disclaimer. Before anyone messages in the comments below and says, but what if I just want to release music for fun? Which I find is the hilarious, crazy, stupidest question. Like a caller of a game show goes, hello? Yes, I don't know. Like, what's the point? I get it. If you're releasing music for fun, it doesn't matter. Do what you want. Put it out, don't put it out. Make it fun, don't make it fun. Who cares? It's just for fun. It's just for you. So that's my disclaimer. If you're releasing music for fun, that's great. Don't tell me. I don't care. This is for people who want to grow. This is for people who want to get it seen. This is for people who love making music and want to get as many people listening and building as much as possible. That's my disclaimer. As you can see, it's also a slight rant.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Tip number 1, don't do all of the stuff that you see huge artists doing. I know that's a really weird, counterintuitive thing to say, but you have to remember a couple of things. Number 1, huge artists have huge budgets, and also they have huge teams of people. So you might see them on every different platform. You might see them doing performance after performance. You might see them doing 30,000 different things every single day, but it's not realistic. What we've got to do is we have to prioritize, which also means prioritizing social media platforms. It means prioritizing what content. It means prioritizing everything of what is realistic. Even 3 years ago was a different game to where it was now. And any artist that has been successful over the last 3 to 5 years doesn't have to play the same game in 2020 as an up-and-coming artist, because the algorithms were different 3 or 4 years ago. So therefore, anyone who doesn't have to, what I call, exhaust the creative, let's face it, you're a big band, it's easier to get those blogs, it's easier to get those radio interviews, it's easier to get that tour or that support tour, or it's easier just to go and actually get some TV or some magazines. All of those things are easier to then filter into your social media. For you guys on the up, it's a lot more difficult because you do have to let in the audience. You do have to be telling the story, and you don't have the same opportunities yet that hopefully you will have down the line. So rather than copying some massive artists and thinking it's going to be the same, my advice is to prioritize 1, maybe 2 platforms, let in the audience and actually take them on a journey. Tell stories, do the performances, be consistent with your social media because it will tell in the end. Number 2 is making yourself interesting. You've spent so long trying to make your music interesting, so why not make yourself interesting? And that means doing interesting things as well as making yourself visually interesting. So I've got a challenge for you right now. That challenge is, what can you do within the next 60 minutes that is interesting enough to tell people about on your social media? What can you do in the next 60 minutes that makes you interesting? Rather than just saying, oh, I'm not really an interesting person. Well, you've got a problem really, haven't you? Because we don't want to follow boring people. We want to follow artists who stand for something, who mean something, who do cool stuff. We want to be blown away by what they do, by what they say, and who they are. So it isn't good enough just to say, take me for who I am. No. I'll take you for who you are if you are interesting. So what can you do in the next 60 minutes that is interesting, that you can tell that story and put on your social media? Number 3 is all about building the party. This is the most important thing you can do as an artist. I call this building the party. Think of it like this. You walk down a street, loads and loads of people are wandering down the street. What you don't realize, in amongst all of these houses, in one of these houses is this incredible party with people that you would love to hang around with, who are all talking about the same stuff. Your job is to build the party inside, to make it so good that when someone comes in, they want to stay. They're not just going to walk in, they're going to look around and go, oh, it's a party, but there's no music, there's no atmosphere, there's no people, there's no food, there's no alcohol. What are they going to do? They're going to leave. Your job is to host the ultimate party. And by that, I mean your music, who you are, what you stand for, the stories. You have to make sure that when people are going to come into this party, they are going to stay. because you are the party host, you are fun, interesting, and you have something in common with these people. How are you going to build that party? You're going to be consistent with your content. You're going to make sure that you're giving value with your content. So the same thing as alcohol, music, people, atmosphere. Well, your job is to provide those things. You are going to provide the music, the performance, the stories, the value in what you stand for as a genre, as an artist. All of those things provide that entertainment. So when someone comes in, they're going to hit that follow button. Number 4, building the party sign. Don't forget, people are wandering past this house. They don't know there's this awesome party inside unless we open the door and we get some signposts just going, hey, the party is in here. This is the place that you will want to be. Now, how we're going to do that is very, very simple. You've built something great. Now we have to tell people about it. The way we do that is growth hacking. So for example, whether it's Instagram, we've got to start looking at where you're tagging places, hashtags. We've got to look at things like boosts or Facebook ads, but really, really simple things. For example, the amount of people I see who tag London in their Instagram feed. And I'm like, how are you possibly going to stick out when 75,000 people have already tagged London just today? Or hashtag love. How are you going to stand out in hashtag love when there's over 2 billion tags for that word? It's the most tagged word on Instagram. You'd be much better shrinking it and making content and putting it in certain places. In doing that, it's going to get found. People are going to see it, they're going to see your content and go, this is interesting. They're going to come into your party. What happens? You made a great party. They're going to go, hey, this is a great party. This is exactly what I was looking for. That's when they're going to hit that follow button. So once you've made the great party, we have to make the party sign. We have to make sure your content is being found, and that's how you grow. Number 5 is finding your light bulb. Now, Edison, who created the light bulb, failed 1,000 times to create that light bulb, but then he succeeded and he invented the light bulb. And in an interview, someone said, it's amazing that you kept going. Why did you not give up? Because you failed 1,000 times. And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. This was a creative process that took 1,000 steps to get there. I knew I was going to get there. This was just about going again and again and again until I found that winning formula because I knew I could do it. Now, releasing music is all about practice. If you think about it, how many hours did you put into your instrument? How many hours have you sat writing songs? How many hours have you released music? Different, very, very different. You've probably released 10, 15, 20 songs. How many gigs have you done? You might have done hundreds. How many songs have you written? Probably hundreds. How many hours of practice have you done? Thousands. So this is about practice. And this is about you getting better, learning from doing. As you are starting to release music, you start to pick things up. Oh, okay, I'm supposed to release on a Friday. I didn't realize. Oh, okay, cool. Every aggregator is different. Oh, I'm supposed to leave that much time. Oh, that's a way I can actually push to playlists for curators. All of these things take time to learn. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to practice, not thinking that this one track that you've got is going to take over the world. Because that's the same thing as me picking up a new instrument and saying, give me an hour and I'll probably be world class. I probably won't, but if I stick with it, I absolutely will. And number 6, the biggest one of all, building and nurturing your calendar. All of the time, I get questions about anxiety and self-doubt and motivation and consistency and a bunch of other stuff. And for me, the calendar really starts to negate most of those things. Because if you're going into releasing music thinking, I'll figure it out as I go, then time's going to go past. You're not going to be consistent. You're not going to get the results. You're going to feel like you're not doing as well as you should be, and then anxiety kicks in. Then you start getting that self-doubt, that negativity, and it's a loop circle. Whereas, if you have a calendar and you start putting in each of your releases and then each of your music video recordings, each of your photo shoots, each of your rehearsals, everything goes into this calendar. All of a sudden, it starts to take away that anxiety. And more importantly, you start to see this progression. You start to see not only are you putting the time and effort in, but what works. And when you do that, things start to build 1% at a time. And that's our job. 1% every day. Growth and making something better so that in 1 year's time, this is further ahead than where you are right now. That calendar for me is the most important aspect of any release at all. So guys, I want to hear your best tip for releasing music. The one thing that you wish you'd known at the beginning, because we're all in this together. But if you can do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. More importantly, come and be a part of this community, because we're doing it every day. And this is a tough time for releasing music and just being a musician in general. So we need as much support as possible. And if you want to work closer with me, then don't forget the link for DK Music Business Academy is below. And that's a place where I'm doing live sessions twice a week. I'm also in the community answering questions every single day. And there are hundreds of hours of courses from myself and also from other artists and other music industry professionals who I think are absolutely awesome. So do yourself a favor, sign up to DK Music Business Academy. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.